Hello, everybody. This is Rob coming to you live Saturday noon, Central Time in the United States. I'm just setting up the stream notifications. I appreciate your patience while I work out the process. I think I'm getting better at this. Probably just horribly mucking it up, but and yes, I did say mucking. I hope everybody is feeling well this fine weekend. I myself am doing pretty well. There, my notifications are out. I apologize for the delay. See no one yet. There's Sephi. Excellent. We're on target to proceed. Since last week, I did take this character down to the Kingsport Lighthouse and take care of the children of Adam there and in the crater just north of there, so I could have gamma guns on hand in case I need to adjust the size bar. Other than that, I just did a little bit of cleaning up and in Sanctuary, got rid of a few of the vehicles and debris, and set up a guard on the new guard tower.
I need to have a word with you.
So here we are back in Sanctuary. You may remember that I built up this bar. The other thing that happened was Codsworth quit, and I was able to assign Jezebel.
At least now I'll have time to work on my pi to the last digit calculation.
But she won't
I expect you'll be leaving me behind.
sell anything. So,
What I wouldn't give for
I'm eventually going to need to find someone else to do that work. But that's okay, because there's lots of people here. In fact, there's 19 people here. McCready and Kate are currently here, so they will be moved on to another location.
There was a pile of caps waiting for me at the end.
Not sure where yet. They'll be given their own homes each, so that'll knock it down by 2, allowing room for more settlers. I do have I have a charisma bonus right now because of the charisma bobblehead, which I picked up. So you can see my charisma is 11, which means I should be able to have 22 settlers. The reason I came all the way over here, however, was because while I was doing cleanup, I noticed something. This is absolutely ridiculous. Hi, Douglas. Hi, Di. I thought Bethesda did a pretty good job of creating the pre-war and the post-war mailboxes, and even had these separate items to show that there used to be a mailbox here, but the post was gone. Guess what? They just buried a mailbox. I was disappointed. So, I thought today was an excellent day to start work down here at what I'm going to refer to as the fishing village. Last week we did not come down here. However, these docks were put in quite a while ago, with the intent that at some point I would build a fishing village down here. What is... Oh, there's a tire in the water over there. I was just wondering what was splashing over there. When I did my cleanup in this area, that was not the case. That was not splashing. And it's not always splashing, so that's interesting to me. But obviously this is a good spot for a fishing village, I think. No, Russ, I don't think I should have expected anything less from them. That level of lazy is just about what I expect when I see some of the glaring mistakes they've got. But I thought they had done a little bit of attention to detail work on that. As you can see, this is still wide open. We've got... I'm not sure if what is going to be here yet, but I want to have a small community down here that's going to be set up as, like I said, a fishing village. I think this is going to be the interaction point. Maybe some kind of public building. Haven't figured that quite out yet, but that's a step ahead. And then, of course, because I'm setting up the fishing village down there, one of the things I'm going to do is, once I have buildings in place down there, I will actually sneak in here in the middle of the night and note who is sleeping where. Because that's supposed to be Sturgis's bed, but who really knows if he's using it? Because I sure don't know if he's using it. I'm never here at night. But one at a time, I'm going to move these beds, especially those beds, and they should be the original settlers' beds, but since I've moved Preston out, there's no telling who's moved where. These beds up here, which should be 6, yes, 6 beds up in this house. I want to knock that number down to 2 beds in this house, and then the other 4 plus anybody who's sleeping in the clinic, because the medical beds in the clinic are actually usable beds. So I'm going to need to move them from here over to, yeah, I see those are both being used. These are all being used. So I'm going to need to move the settlers who have assigned themselves to those bunks over to the fishing village. I think by having them down there, I might even see a little bit more interaction. I'm probably going to put on this side. As a matter of fact, let me to work out the layout with you guys present. There's Easy. And Otto. Good. Glad you made it, Otto. I think at this point here, I might want to have a general trader. Somebody set up so, and I can have the fishing village basically supplying them. And that will be Mr. Voltec. He is here somewhere in town. I saw him wandering around, if you guys didn't. So yeah, let's get started with our fishing village. I think being that this area is already broken down a little bit, it's a great place for our first building. Wow, it really wants to be high there. Okay, how far over can I move that? And how low can it go? It can go low here, so let's see if it'll... Yes, it will. This will be our first building. Got a little bit of a irregular shape here. I really want to take advantage of this gap. I think it's a great place to have a balcony open out onto the water so that people inside can have a bit of a view. And I don't want to be too close to the first dock here, so that's a good spot for it. Shack door. There we go. Nice little view out into the water. And it's already getting close to nightfall. So I will be able to check that. Let's put one of those chunkier walls right there. I will be able to check that bed situation in a moment. I think that they would have a door going out the back of their structure as well. They're all basically the same door. There we go. Hey, Dig. No, cannot kill Preston. I don't have that mod. Although I definitely put some thought into it. I've exiled him to the castle, though, so I don't have to deal with his shit. I thought that was a pretty good solution to him. Don't want the water draining towards the entryway. If I'm not mistaken, this is the roof piece that can be put in underneath these chunkier roofs. If I can figure out how to it figures I'm not using the right piece. At least I don't think I'm using the right piece. Oh, that's a chunky roof. That's the one that I thought I could put in underneath these. But not going to cooperate. I don't think I need the inner roof on this. I think it's just fine. A little bit of airflow never hurt anybody. Dag, I may have unloaded 500,000 bullets into him at various times because he is quite the annoying person. Where are the end caps? I thought they were in here with this. Yes, we're back to watch Rob flail around inside the menus. There's one of them. Variety, use the plywood one on this side. Help if I put it the right direction, wouldn't it? Right, not plywood, I knew what I meant. And this one's definitely too tall for just these steps, isn't it? Yeah, that wouldn't work. I could force it to work, but let's not do anything too forceful on this. So there we have our first ramshackle home here on the fishing village. Plenty of room for a couple of people to live in here. And as you can see, I've got razor grain out here. Maybe, I think that's great decorative stuff here and along the waterway. Sure, I'll take some roots. It is almost time to sleep, Di, but I actually want to see the settlers sleeping, to see where the settlers who aren't. Well, I only want to see where Sturgis is sleeping, because I think I want to leave Sturgis in the home with the workshop. I think that the rest of them need to live elsewhere. But I definitely want to see where all the settlers are sleeping, because I need to know who I'm reassigning to what bunk. And it's actually fairly bright in-game. I'm not able to tell from my stream how clear it is for you guys. Unfortunately, I'm using my phone to keep eye on the chat, so the screen's kind of tiny. So if it's too dark, I can go wait a couple hours in a chair. Let me do that for you. Then I'll figure out if Sturgis is still in the right bed, and if he is, as we build and move things, I can move him to another bed, or move other people to other beds. You poor sot. Nobody comes down here anymore. You look miserable. No, Russ. I don't play on the PS4 anymore. I am on PC. The PlayStation was limited with a large number of mods, just didn't really work as well as they do on PC, and a large number weren't available. So I migrated to the PC experience, and I have to say I like it a lot better. There's Mr. Groucho. Good to see you, sir.
You know what? Since we talked, I'm feeling swell. Look at the two of us here in Sanctuary. Prepared for the future.
Okay, now Sturgis is just standing in there. Let's give him a second to figure out where he wants to be. Alright, it does look like he is using that bunk. Excellent. That's the only one that I do not want to move out of that house.
Yeah?
I will sleep until morning now. I did get this script extender, Russ. I did quite a bit of research on the software that I needed to run the game on the PC for the purpose of streaming. Wow, I need to get away from those hammers. I thought it was bad when one of them was hammering, and you get two or three of them doing it at the same time.
Simple arrangement.
That gets really rough really fast. Okay. So let's get something going over here. Oh, Douglas, you could use simple rules. Do as I say or get the hell out. Okay, that's gonna be just a bit too low. So let's get that out of the way. I want this one just above ground level. So I can go one more back. And wow, I'm gonna need to be a lot more than just above ground level back here. Okay. So that's still in contact with the ground all the way around. Just barely. Actually, it's not. That's floating. Son of a... Let's move that out. Okay, that's definitely contacting the ground on that side. Let's see what this... It does let me lock in. I wonder if I'm going to be able to put a wall over here. Oh, it will let me put a door there. Excellent. 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 Let's get some... Yes. Should this door... I don't know if I want any doors facing the water. Oh. I completely forgot that I need to put something to support this one. Let me take care of that before I completely forget again. No, I don't want it up in the air. Here. No. Not in the air. Just inside. Yeah. As if the 2x4s are attached to it. Yeah. That's better. Did I go up through the floor on this one? No, I didn't. Okay. So... no, I am not in vanilla, Russ. I mod my playthrough. I do not... I don't have the patience to build the way SAR builds. And a lot of the mods that I chose the primary mods I chose were cosmetic. Things or things that make me enjoy the game more. So, for example, I have a service rifle mod that adds the same weapon that I had, that basically the M16 rifle. That's going to be too short. Well, I would be very interested in seeing what mods you recommend. If you could send them to my, or you could either hit me up on one of the Discord channels, or you can put it in a comment. This video will archive after the stream ends. Takes a couple of hours. You'd be able to put a comment onto the video once it's archived, and you could put it on there. That would make it that would be the easiest way for me to find it. But yeah, I'd appreciate it. The only building mods that I really use, I use USO to get more access to pieces. I used USO with PS4 because it was available, and really liked those mods that were available through USO, or those items that were available through USO. And that's why I chose that I would definitely want to have them. Oh, that's ugly. Oh, that is ugly. And naturally, that's not going to do what I want it to do. Get that. No, I want you lower. I said lower. Here, maybe if I turn it this way, the hitbox is better. Why does it jump up like that? Now, that looks a lot better. And this can go right here. Oh, that might actually be lined up well enough that and naturally I now see that that's not touching. That might line it up enough, though, that a settler would use it. Is that touching now? Believably touching? I could see some wasteland moron putting that together that way. Probably shouldn't insult my settlers, but let's face it, these are the same people who will walk straight into a wall for 20 minutes when you reassign them, so they're not the brightest bulb on the tree, that's for certain. Julie, great to see you. I appreciate that, Russ. I'll go through it. like I was saying, that the majority of the mods that I downloaded were just things that make me feel warm and fuzzy. More of the not so many of the quality of life mods that people have recommended, you know, for better weapons or I didn't look for anything to make the game really easy. I went with mods to make me happier about the game. I hope that's making sense the way I intended to, because it's... I don't know if I'm wording it well, but that's going to be a really nice ugly shape. I like that. That one's not as tall as the others. Oh, neither. Okay, that bump out is tall. There we go. Oh, dynamic walls. I forgot. USO adds dynamic walls. Dynamic walls are destructible. I'll pass on being able to destroy my walls. Go figure. This one doesn't fit in here? Oh, that one does, though. Russ, I'm not interested in learning how to do the modding myself. There's a lot of odds and ends rattling around inside this old skull, and at this point I just want to enjoy the work that other people have actually already put in a ton of work on things that I like. And I don't see how I would necessarily do anything better than what's already in existence. If that makes sense to you. And if I'm not going to do it better, there's not a lot of point in doing it just to say that I've been able to do it. You know what I mean? Being I'm not interested in that aspect of the modding community. I'm a consumer, not a creator. That's the too long didn't read version of what I just said. Probably should have started with that one, huh? See if I can make this look believable. I will say that Place Anywhere is probably my favorite mod that SAR does not use, because he would definitely be pulling his hair out, trying to figure out where... Well, I don't know if he would pull his hair out. He'd probably look at it, figure out which method to use, and then proceed to do it deftly and make me feel like he's done it that way all along without any difficulty at all. Me, I'm not that talented. His use of the pillar and fireplace far exceed anything I ever did in PlayStation. Although the PlayStation was very much in use of the group grabbing and group select. That's the word for it. Why am I having such a hard time with the English language today? I want it up through... No, I don't want it up through the floor. I don't want it up through the floor. Give me back my post. Touch the floor. There we go. And another one. Right about here. Okay, that's not inside though. No, no, no. Under. Come on now. All right. Turn snapping off. It shouldn't jump when I move now. And one of these. And I think that one feature I just used, turning snapping off. Jet, it definitely is. My hats are off to vanilla builders. Easy, Sardeliac, JPIC. I've watched you guys, Insane Sheklador. I've watched you guys put together masterpieces. And I don't know that I could duplicate them with Place Everywhere. I probably would have an easier time than I'm imagining, but you guys do great work with the tools available to you. Pardon me. I'm glad that mute button exists. Coffee went down the wrong way, that sip. So, Sephi, Julie, if I did not see Barbarian King, but he's here, Barbarian, how are things this evening in your neck of the woods? You guys are over in England. And I want a little outhouse, but I don't want to use an outhouse. I think that's a great thing about our little building communities, Doug, is the you'll see something that I do and say, wow, I like the shape of X. And then you'll see something Sar did and say, oh, I really like that. And then I'll go to your channel later and I'll see something that looks familiar and is unique all at the same time because you're incorporating the little ideas that you pick up from me and Sar and Easy and Dai and JPIC. And, you know, I think we all influence each other's style quite a bit. And probably without even really knowing how much we influence each other. And I like that. I really do. I think that the community feeds itself, so to speak. Julie, we're building what I'm calling the fishing village here at Sanctuary. Some of the settlers who are already here will be moved down into these houses because all that I built previous to this was I put bunks in the pre-war houses. No real decorating. I didn't even tear down the furnishings in houses that I didn't put beds in. Why doesn't that snap? That should snap. I mean, luckily, Place Anywhere does let me put it where I want to, but it would be nicer if that one snapped. I hear the wind picking up. Generally, that means a radiation storm is coming. That doesn't look like a rad storm. So I'm going to keep working. And yes, I do know that it currently appears that people are going to be talking to each other right there. That is not going to happen. I was checking to see the clearance to put them facing each other with a divider wall. There really isn't enough clearance for that. So instead, I'm going to put them side by side with a divider wall. that sticking out the back. And it's not. Excellent. So we have our fishing pier to get in the boat and go out on the pond. This one is good for fishing off of. We have a house up here, a house right here. I think we're going to need a little place back here. This one, it'll need a little bit different shape. Let's get it high enough that I'm not going to run into the same problem as before. Ooh, that tree's in the way. How's this look now? Good. And I think these folks would like a balcony that looks this way. But maybe they like to have a little curtain. Just a little something to give them a touch of privacy. One of the things I really like about these plywood walls is when I was a kid, I knew a guy who built a tree house, and his walls looked almost exactly like that. Probably over here. Okay, we have a spot to build. Speaking of Fallout New Vegas, Russ, I don't know if any of you follow Juicehead on YouTube. He was saying this morning that there were updates to the Fallout 4 New Vegas mod. So that's starting to get a little exciting. It's starting to seem like it's something that's not just away in the distance. Alright, it's way too dark to work in this rain. It's darker in the rain than it was at night. What time of the day is it? It's nighttime. Anyway, it's coming up on nighttime. I'll just go to sleep. And the
Rather be off murdering a pint. This'll do.
this morning's video from him was not just the New Vegas in Fallout 4, but the Capital Wasteland is also put out another update on their status. So it's kind of exciting. Getting the chance to play those games with the updated engine is really something I'm looking forward to, because I definitely I've played a few hours, not hundreds, but probably 80 hours of New Vegas and about 120 of Fallout 3. Unfortunately, I started playing them after I had played Fallout 4, and I'm kind of spoiled on the combat system Fallout 4 gave us. Yes, he said so that there's a Fallout New Vegas mod, that I think he said was coming out this year, before the end of this year. So that was a lot that he put out this morning. I was very impressed with the amount of news he put out today. Okay, that has to have a flat wall. Okay. Got some room for furnishings, room to cook. Yeah, it was, I was not expecting to see anything from Juicehead this morning, so I was a little surprised to see that something popped out that on the mods front, because he had said something about last time he put out a video that he didn't expect to put out another one this month regarding the mods. So I was a little surprised to hear it. That's pretty crappy. I like that. Let's change that wall out, though, for one of the chunky ones. How's this one? There we go. Yeah, I like that. We can have another set of steps on this side. Yeah, that's the. I have to look up which one it is. There is a mod that. Oh, it's the Place Everywhere. I have to find where the setting is in Place Everywhere to turn off the auto exit, because I have a habit of wandering outside the green line when I work near the edge. Okay, I think we've got a good start of a village down here. So we need to start cluttering it up a bit so that it feels like somebody is actively building this as an intended home area. So let's start with some fishing themes. Put this on the side of the boat here, if I can manage to do it without it looking like it's floating off the edge of the boat. Okay, why won't it? Maybe it's just the perspective. Let's put it in place and see what it looks like. Okay, it does look like it's hooked to the boat. It's got to be my perspective. And then... Alright. Fighting the current. Not gonna work. This one doesn't want to cooperate at all. But I can cheat and put it on the dock instead. Is that cheating? Might be cheating. Or it'll look like it's floating freely in the air next to the dock. That looks great. Okay, right there. That actually looks like it's attached to the boat. Okay. Oh, thanks, Russ. When I get back to decorating over on that house on the edge, I'll be sure to use that F5 button, because I am horrible at keeping myself inside the build boundary when I'm working on the edge. How does that look? Did I manage to keep it from intersecting any of the posts? Yes. Yeah, I don't think I'm... Yeah, I was not touching the house at all there. The outhouse. Oh, I still have surface snap off. I was wondering why this was going so smoothly. And I should probably turn surface snap back off because I can't get it to... Oh, I see what it is. It's got to float if the other side is... Ah-ha-ha. Open my eyes. If it's on the stone, and the stone is higher, the other end won't look right. Okay, that looks a little bit better. One of the things I've heard repeatedly from a large number of folks who do this on a regular basis is the rule of three. Static decorations don't look right alone, and they look too cluttered with too many items. But if you have three positioned in a way that kind of makes sense, they look correct. And I try and do that when it makes sense, when I can, but when it makes sense. So, you know, the lobster trap. That will never catch one of these little mirelurks ever. But we have faith. There's a cloning button? Russia, I took place everywhere to make it easier to put things in places. I have no idea what all the features are yet. And I think that I almost want to not know what all the features are, because it seems to me like I would abuse the ability to use them. A lot more. There. Just a little bit lower to... And I'm constantly keeping myself in check so I don't accidentally delete this stone wall, the retaining wall. Constantly checking my activities. I find myself thinking, does anybody know the mod that adds fishing as a food gathering activity that you can assign somebody to it? I did see where it allows tilting auto. I have not monkeyed with that yet. That is a feature that I do want to learn to use. I think it's really, really cool that you can alter the position of items that way. Awesome. Actually, I do. I have scrap everything. I think it's scrap everything. Which of course allows me to scrap these shrubs, or I could scrap this whole building, which I don't want to do, but it allows me the... Oh, I'm glad McCready's got no jobs. They can wander around and get in the way. That's one of the reasons that I want to have a mod like that, the scrap everything, and is... I don't believe that somebody living or working in this building here, for example, would live with trash on the floor. So as you see, trash, leaves, all gone. All the debris. Even if they wouldn't clean up outside their doors, they would definitely be cleaning the place that they were working or sleeping. Fish Farms mod. Thanks, Russ. Barbarian, good to see you. So, yeah, I feel like, let's move that one there. We would see settlers cleaning the spots that they were in all the time. Not necessarily cleaning all areas that they work near, but definitely the places that they were all the time. So, PlayStation had the scrap mods, scrap that settlement, and it was not as inclusive as scrap everything. But it did have an extension that let me scrap, like, the zombies at Croup Manor. Which, as anybody who's built at Croup Manor knows, the zombies are an issue. I'm actually really surprised that Bethesda made the zombies unscrappable. And also that they didn't respawn, or their bodies do respawn. And I'm still puzzled why not only do the bodies respawn, but that they, you know, if it was a mistake, I could say, yeah, that mistakes happen. But they've patched the game how many times? And you can't tell me they're not aware of the problem. So, what purpose would it serve to have respawning dead zombies? Or ghouls. I don't know why I called them zombies. 'Cause I can't think of a single reason to have them respawn other than to make it a really depressing place to build. Oh, the place everywhere has a scrap tool. See, I didn't notice that. I should pay a little bit more attention to things. I did not know place everywhere had a scrapping tool in it. Doug, I really feel like it would be something that they would have patched out if they didn't want it there. The zombies respawning. But because they didn't patch it out, they seem to have wanted it to be there. But I can't see a reason why other than to make it an unforgiving place to build at. And personally, I can't understand why you would want to make it an unforgiving place to build at. I mean, it's just me. I'm sure that there are reasons why somebody might want to make it less inviting to build there, but it's not obvious to me. Russ, scrap like a god is a very scary concept in my world, because I guarantee I'll hit the wrong button and Sanctuary will be a crater. Yeah. Somehow I could see that, Otto. But the thing that bothers me more than that they respawn is if you move them to one corner of the property. Like some lazy settlers just moved them aside and settled down, even though I can't imagine somebody living with a rotting ghoul in the corner. They'll go back to where you killed them. And the fact that they go back to where you killed them tells me that they didn't necessarily have a spot to lay before you killed them. You know what I'm saying? It's there's no... Wow, that is just bright as heck. There's no reasoning that I can think of that they needed to respawn there. Because if you manage to aggro them and lure them down the driveway, they respawn down the driveway. Or they'll stay there. If they're outside the build area, you can't even go do anything with them. But if you carry them outside the build area after you kill them, they go back to where you killed them when they eventually respawn. And it can be... It's not even a consistent time frame how long they respawn. In the PlayStation... when I first did my Croup Manor build, I hand carried them out of the cell because somebody online had said that if you carry them out of the cell, they're no longer cell assets and they won't respawn. And it did last for, several trips back and forth to Croup Manor until I found ones, hanging through the floor that I had put in. Douglas, you mean Coastal Cottage? The calling that a house is generous. It's a hole with a bit of a house around it. But yeah, I know what you're talking about with that. The things that I could see, even Coastal Cottage, somebody saying this will be challenging for people to build at, and intentionally putting it that way. But that being said, why intentionally muck with people? I can't agree with the idea that it was a good thing to make things irritating like that, Wow, there's only trash buckets? There's not buckets? That seems like an oversight. So, well, yeah, I could see a challenging place like Coastal Cottage a lot more readily than the respawning ghouls. There's somewhere else that ghouls have a chance to respawn at. Oh, you have a mod that fixes the house. So it is a house with that mod. That's cool. Let's watch Rob not know how to use the controls well. It's not floating. Good. So, yeah, yeah, that really irritates me. There's no buckets unless I go find buckets. Okay. I'll go look for buckets. That'll be my adventure during the week. Because I like using the buckets, especially near the outhouses or the wells. This is a well right here. Kind of indicates that people are actually using it. And the rain is making it dark again. Red Rocket TV puts a bunker there for a player home. I'm not really... I'd looked at a couple of mods that...
Oh, man. I always wanted to say that.
What are you digging at? There's nothing planted there, dude. You're not even close to the only planted material
Let's get this show on the road.
here. It just works. I do not use cheat terminal. Like I said, I looked at a couple of mods that had the option of building bunkers. One of them allowed you to build up to 5 bunkers at various settlements, I think. Or there were 5 types of bunkers, but you could place 3 or... So it's been a little while since I looked at the mod, so I'd have to check it. But I didn't want to add bunkers. I saw Ranger Dave did a settlement sanctuary, as a matter of fact, where he put a bunker right over here. He did, I think it was this spot right here. He took out the playground equipment and added a bunker entrance that was... where did it go? It went into a sewer-like environment. But no, I don't use cheat terminal. For building purposes, I did download a mod that will allow me to get materials if I run out of them. Just from the Pip-Boy. But it's set up to be a vendor, so I have to buy the materials from through the Pip-Boy. So in order to pay for my habit, I have to make a lot of jet and sell it to Carla and the other vendors that wander about. Okay, I am not a cap collector, so I cannot make the Emporium. That is something worth... I knew there were... I haven't leveled up in a little bit. Immersive scrapping mod, is that the one where you set out a scrapping station? I think it looks like a trash can, and little by little the entire settlement gets, all the debris gets scrapped, and it's building up scrap in your workshop? Or am I talking about a different scrapping mod? Right, I could see that, Otto. I actually play the game a lot, enjoying the exploration. Nikita gave me a couple of mod names to look for that would add explorable zones in Lexington and downtown Boston. And that's kind of the thing that I really like about the game, is running out and exploring when I want to. Because I think that makes it a whole lot of fun. And it does... break the monotony. Some of my activity. Oh yeah, I need to assign her to something else because even though she's assigned to that, she won't sell me anything. But I'm looking for the Vault-Tec rep. I think I just saw his hat inside the house. Why are you not? You are there, right?
You know what? Since we talked, I'm feeling swell. Look at the two of us here in Sanctuary. Prepared for the future.
Hey, now that you're back here in Sanctuary, how would you like a job?
A job? For me? Really?
Yeah. What do you say? Want to work for me?
Yes! Oh my God, this is the best thing to happen to me since the worst thing to happen to me.
Yeah, Doug, that hammering drives me nuts too. That's the one thing I really, really, really. I spend almost none of my in-game time in Sanctuary, and I sort of wanted to do the Sanctuary build first to get it out of the way, so I wasn't gonna have to hear that constantly. You know what I mean? Well, now we've got our Vault-Tec rep with the trading store, and I think it would be a good idea to give him a nice house all of his own, so this nice big place is all his. So now I just need to bring him a bed and assign him to that bed. And who knows, at some later date I might rebuild these the sanctuary houses to a degree, and if I do that, he can move into nicer digs there, because I'm pretty sure that the sanctuary houses can be made a lot nicer than they are. Okay, if I don't have the snapping on, I'm not going to be able to place this the way I want to. Give him enough room to have a nightstand. Has he arrived at his job yet? No, he's going to take his time walking there. Oh, there he is. "16 likes. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the input. I hope that I'm entertaining. That I'm not just spinning my wheels. You know what? I don't think I want to tie them into the same power. They're already getting their water from a windmill. Well, you know, story-wise, it wouldn't make sense that they would have a windmill made from a jet engine. There's no jets in this area. Hi, Brookie. The USO adds a few texture pieces of sanctuary wall pieces. You know, the House of Tomorrow or Home of Tomorrow pieces. But that being said, I'm not a big proponent of rebuilding the sanctuary houses with those. Mostly, I'm not good at it as a starting point, but even if I was a little better at it, I don't see how they would realistically be able to use those pieces. You know, where would they get them from? There's no other Home of Tomorrow settlements in the area. Alright. You are not at your trough, but you're also standing half in the ground. And you're staring at me. Yeah, I saw you staring at me. Looking away now doesn't help. Greyhound. No, I have not seen Greyhound. I'm guessing he's a World of Warship streamer. Would that be a good guess, Otto? Take care, Doug. Drive safe. Or drive fast. Whichever. Just do it safely. Yeah, I suppose with the collapsed houses here in Sanctuary, you could justify having a handful of pieces that were usable to make some repairs here. So you could probably, you know, story-wise get away with that. But as far as anywhere, there's only one other place that I'm aware of that has Home of Tomorrow pieces integrated, and that's over at Taffington Boathouse, across the water from the boathouse. There's super mutants occupying another little community of it. Oh, you're walking. Well, walk safely, Douglas. Oh, Greyhound is a Tom Hanks movie. I did not see that, no. So, yeah, there's only a couple of places in the game where pieces from the Home of Tomorrow would work out. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of building to be done in those areas. Taffington Boathouse, it doesn't lend itself to using them. Sanctuary, you would get some use out of. Red Rocket, I could see if you maybe built a structure like the Home of Tomorrow. I'll have to check that out, Otto, because I do really like military history movies. I'm sure if it's like most of them, it's at best based on a true story, but heavily embellished. And it's dark. So I'm going to sleep until daylight. But yeah, the military history movies, really, I enjoy those. There's not a lot of high quality ones that I haven't
All this
seen.
walking's wearing me out.
I'm glad that it's all wearing you out, Kate. How about you do some work around town? Croup Manor is under attack. Well, maybe I should rush off and defend those two people.
You work, you eat. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, there's only two people there, but... what the heck? Let's go defend Croup Manor. Otto, if it's Tom Hanks, I'm gonna say he didn't involve himself in something that was crappy.
I'm gonna tear your fucking throat out.
I'm not a fan of...
Who's there? Let's do this.
I hear you.
Fucking pay for that.
Okay, dog, get down. I don't know if I can kill the dog that I bought, but I don't want to find out.
I want to trade a few
Have it
things.
your way. Go ahead.
Oh, that's the provisioners. Oh, really? Rocket launcher, huh? I had to defend you from 3 raiders. Alright, guys. I know one of you was up here. I will lose a dead man in a heartbeat. Oh well. This is where he was, wasn't it? Yeah, this guy's right here. Guy with the flight helmet should be right here, right? Wait a minute, I just saw something. There he is. Wow, he was just blended in my old eyes. Gotta take your fashionable glasses and your yellow flight helmet. And forget that I don't have to close my inventory when I'm taking things from you. So yeah, I have not done anything here at Croup Manor either, as you can see. And these guys will just keep respawning exactly where I killed them. So, that's why I have scrapping mods. But if anybody tries to come in here, they will get gunned down by the machine guns, I assume. Yeah, Otto, I don't blame you on the Apple TV thing. I'm not a fan of Apple TV. I enjoyed Hunt for Red October Barbarian. I enjoyed most of the Tom Clancy movies, to be honest. They're not as much the military genre as the spy genre, but Saving Private Ryan was great. There's a couple of old ones too that a lot of people haven't seen. There's an old World War One movie called The Light Horseman about the Australian Light Horse Infantry in their battle for Beersheba. That's one of my favorite films. And then there's a old 80s or 90s film about a Soviet tank crew in Afghanistan. It's called The Beast. What time of day is it? Oh, it's morning. I can get ready to start building here. Apparently there's a hoe there, and I couldn't see it. I'm going to move the cooking station. To between these two lovely homes. They can have themselves a good old-fashioned fish fry out here. Okay. All he has is a nightstand. I need to give him some furnishings. Yeah, I think Hanks's role in Saving Private Ryan was just outstanding. I would love to see him do the Navy some justice as well. I feel like the problem with it being locked to Apple TV, however, is you're going to get a lot of people like myself who has no interest. Das Boot was one of the excellent movies that uses a very limited set. There, you know, it's that's something that it's very difficult to do correctly, but when you do it correctly, it really works. Having essentially, you know, 2 rooms that the crew are in. I really like that idea, because now you're not constantly moving to place. You have to have a strong movie, and Das Boot was a strong movie. Of course, I was a fan of Big Red 1, the old Telly Savalas World War II movies, Kelly's Heroes. I'll take a look at that. The Eden aircraft carrier. I could actually see a couple of places, like maybe somewhere off the castle or off Croup Manor or nearby Spectacle Island would be a good place for something like that. But I definitely want to take a look at not only the mod itself, how big the mod is, but the what the requirements are that go with it, because some of those mods require other mods to work, and I have a hard time with adding a mod and then having to add another mod because of that mod. Yeah, so some of the clothing mods that I really liked when I looked at, I decided not to go with because of I don't like CBBE, and so many clothing mods use it. And basically, I don't want to end up with a mod list that's, 70 some odd mods long. I want to be able to manage my mods by just taking a quick glance and knowing exactly what the mod is doing for me. Barbarian, you'll find a lot of the best older war movies were B movies. But Kelly's Heroes was definitely it was a dark humor, but it was definitely the kind of humor that you'll see a lot of soldiers are accustomed to. It's too nice. Should have some of these left, yep. Let's do a little, spot where they can talk. Sure, he'll have company from time to time. He needs a coffee table. Question is, yep, you can still get in and not get trapped.
I feel more comfortable with a rocky ceiling above my head. Definitely be easier to see our targets in the daytime.
Yeah, the Otto, if you're asking if the one I was talking about, the Beast, was set in World War II, it is not. It's set in the Russian-Afghanistan conflict. It's a rough one. It's it's another one of those like Das Boot. It's the tension is built throughout the film to make you feel like a group of soldiers who are being stalked by the locals. It's really well done. I really should get a copy of Come and See. I've heard very good things about it.
Enough of this slog. Just point us to the nearest watering hole.
It would help if I was in workshop mode. I have no idea who's sleeping in this bed, but you're moving to the fishing village. It is an older movie, Otto. Old enough that it was VHS that I had it on. And unfortunately, all my VHS tapes were ruined in Hurricane Harvey because they were stored in a box in my garage. And considering I had 15 inches of water in my garage after that hurricane, things didn't survive too well in there. Enemy at the Gates was a very good movie, Russ. I really feel like Jude Law and Ed Harris did an excellent job playing off of each other. They really made it feel like a game of cat and mouse were going on. And Jude Law felt like the guy who was trying to do the best he could, while Harris felt like the guy who thought all of the Russians were beneath him. He was superior. It was very well done. I can't say that I loved Rachel Weisz's performance in the film, but let's face it, she was ironically not the main draw for the film, which is, normally she would be a reason to go see a film, but not that specific one. Band of Brothers that was the HBO series, if I'm not mistaken. I intended to watch it all in one sitting after it was finished, and I never did. And I really feel like I missed out on it. It's not that I can't, go buy a copy, or probably, heck, I could probably even stream it on HBO. I'm sure they have a streaming service. Everyone else seems to. But I think Band of Brothers is one of those you have to be in the mindset to watch it. And in my particular case, when it was going on television, I did not have the mindset to sit and watch it. I happened to come out at a time when I lost a few close friends in service, so I was not interested in seeing any war films at the time. A few years later, different mindset. Otto, I never saw the old Stalingrad movie. Russ, more good films. Clint Eastwood did not make a bad war film that I've seen yet. Why did I come up here and start moving furniture? Oh. I came up here because I need to move power down. And I'm thinking I have to move it from the top of this house. Probably going to need 2 poles in between. Might be able to do just 1 pole. No, it's going to be 2 poles. Let's get this one up here. Alright. Find a spot where all the legs seem to be on the ground. And then I get my stairs out. There's another old World War II movie that I really enjoyed called Midway. And for the life of me, I can't think of who the lead actor was in that. He was obviously super popular at the time. They wouldn't have cast him in it. But fairly well done. Not incredible by today's movie standards, obviously. You know, special effects wise or any of that. But definitely a well done Pacific Theater movie. Most of John Wayne's movies were very good if you just wanted the heroic stuff, but not necessarily not necessarily any level of realism in the John Wayne films. But if you want a rousing story of patriotism, you'd be hard-pressed to find something better in a John Wayne film. Especially, from that era, for sure. Not close enough. That's okay. His bed is... That's not close enough for that light? Jeez. You can't tell me that's not close enough on that light. And I just remembered something that somebody once told me, probably during a SAR stream. Pick the light up if it doesn't come on. Oh well. At least I eventually remember the tricks that I learned. The thing that I really loved about Midway was how well the writers did at portraying it not as how should I phrase it? They didn't portray the Japanese as evil, but they were the enemy. You never lost track of the fact they were the enemy, but they weren't portrayed as evil. I really want to see that more in movies, because having been in combat, the enemy isn't evil. They think they're right. So, but I am in danger of verging into one of the forbidden topics. So, and if the rules don't apply to me, who do they apply to, right? So I'm not going to go too far into that one. Welcome back, Douglas. Apparently it went well. And while we're talking about movies, I know that none of it is based in realism, but I really enjoyed the Mel Gibson movies, Braveheart and The Patriot. And as Vietnam movies go, I watched We Were Soldiers with a sergeant who had been there, and he loved it. And he had given me the book when we served together. So yeah, the common soldier doesn't know that he's right or wrong. He's doing his job. And there's definitely not an easy way about it for the common soldier, because almost guaranteed he's going to be wrong. Which is another issue that people tend to forget about. I mean, even U.S. soldiers are in a strange position in conflicts like Vietnam. The majority of U.S. soldiers were the good guys. There were enough bad guys that it was an issue. But, as I just warned myself about, I'm probably straying into topics that I shouldn't be encouraging. So, back to movies that were well done. What's everybody's opinion of Mission Impossible? Because I have my opinion, but I want to hear what other people think. Let's see. Can I put one of these on here? No, it wants not. Yeah, it's not really there. The thing that fascinates me about German war films, Otto, is especially some of the older ones, they were not allowed to portray the Nazis by law. So it made it very interesting to see how they were going to handle the politics of the whole thing, and they did it by not addressing the politics at all and only addressing the combat and the interaction between the individual soldiers and their officers, not touching on the subjects forbidden by German law at all. Very, very difficult situation for them to adhere to. And in my opinion, a pretty good solution. Okay, so that's... Probably need to make sure that there's... I don't know how far the power radiates from these connectors. Oh, that's not going to get me up on the roof. Yeah, originally the Germans have a law that say you cannot portray Nazis in any way, shape, or form. And it was modified not terribly long ago, probably in the last 20 years, that if it's historic context, it's permitted. But even that is sometimes an issue because a history class was, or a history instructor was in trouble for having had a swastika in a presentation. And it was like, well, if that's not a historic context, what is? You know, if you're teaching a history lesson. But apparently they decided it was not. And yeah, that's weird to me. It definitely makes it an interesting problem, especially if you don't have any way of knowing what's going to be okay or not. Yeah, this is supposed to be okay, but it's not because we said it's not, and it's Tuesday. You know, whatever the case may be, you know. And you don't always get a definitive why when somebody says that doesn't meet standards either. I feel like I'm having a trouble with this connector, not because of the distance, but because of this set of stairs is getting in the way. So let me move it out of the path and try one more time. Here, let's watch me run up and down the stairs and jump off the top. Alright, it was the distance. I sit corrected. I would stand corrected, but I don't like to do that. You know, it's not hard to believe that somebody hasn't seen Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise is a box office draw for a lot of people, but I wouldn't call him I wouldn't consider him to be an actor that everybody just feels like they have to go see. You know what I mean? That being said, I enjoy quite a few Tom Cruise movies. The Mission Impossible ones, I remember Mission Impossible with Peter Graves and... Jeez, I remember Leonard Nimoy being in it, and I may not be remembering that correctly, but I remember him being in it. And... let's see... there are a couple other actors who I can't remember their names right now, but one of them was on a sci-fi show called Space 1999, where the moon gets knocked out of Earth orbit, and they're in a moon base. It was an old TV show. And so they are stuck going through the galaxy on a dislodged moon. Pardon me. That takes the fun out of it, Russ. I don't want to fly. I want to fall repeatedly. At least it doesn't hurt as bad when I fall from a height because I have an acrobat leg. If I ever find another one, then I'll be able to take no damage from the falls. Now I can build as tall as I want. Okay, all of these houses have electricity now, right? Yes, good. Did I put any lights in this one? I did, in the kitchen area. They did not get a light in here. He's got a light next to his bed and over near his door. Yeah. Trying to think of things that would go in here. I know that having a kitchen is great, but somehow I don't picture the Vault-Tec guy as cooking his own meals. So I'm going to leave him without a kitchen. I don't know what to do with this area over here, though. And then this, I feel like this is the people who are the fishermen. And these folks, who knows what they're doing. But I did think a table belongs over here. Yeah, that Otto, that's one of the things that impresses the heck out of me about Tom Cruise, which is why I give every one of the movies that he's in a fair shot. Yeah, I don't think if I were an actor, I would have the nuts to do my own stunts. Yeah, I'm gonna put a different table here. Gonna put a table to eat at. But I still want it to be dingy. I don't see as I would have the wherewithal to do my own stunts. So, you know, it's like watching Jackie Chan. The man is certifiably insane with the amount of stunts he's done. He's broken almost every bone in his body at least once. You know, when is enough enough, right? I thought he did a great job in Oblivion until the final scenes. He was great at the beginning of the movie, and I'm not sure if it was him or if the movie itself was just, it didn't know where it was going. You know what I'm saying? I used to have a buddy who told me all about his cousin's role in the movie Big. Told me for years about it. Oh, he's a big-time actor. He's been in Big. And finally discovered he was a customer in the department store during the dancing on the keyboard scene. And he's uncredited. That's not a big actor. Groucho, you've got a very good point. He's probably not interested in anything close. Why is... That's why it's not the sofas I thought they were. He's probably not interested in anything that smells like he has since the war. Day After Tomorrow. I don't think I've seen that. I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen it. If I saw it, I must have categorized it as not my kind of film, because I don't remember it at all. I already passed the coffee tables. I think personally, Tom Cruise films are very hit or miss with me. I bet it's that table right there that's making it jump. See, I do pay attention to build order. I was not a fan of The Mummy. Day After Tomorrow was a nuclear apocalypse. Yeah, I definitely didn't see it then. Um, well, Otto, that includes you into the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, though. Groucho, I would say most of them probably smell like a supermarket dumpster fire on a summer day. Day after tomorrow. Why am I thinking that's I'm equating that with a not Tom Cruise film. Trying to think of the film that I'm thinking it is. It's a film about the world freezing over. Is Day After Tomorrow the film with the where the world's freezing and the kids trapped in the New York City public library and Dad's coming for them? Is it? Am I? Is that the film I'm thinking it is? What do these guys get? They need something over here. Let's give them a candle. When in doubt, give them a candle. Yeah, that's it. If Day After Tomorrow is the global cooling movie, then it's not a Tom Cruise film, but I've seen it. The Day After, I'm not familiar with. I haven't seen. Okay, I'm sure that people who go use the latrine in the middle of the night want to be able to see just so they don't trip and stick their arm down the hole. So let's see what kind of lighting they get. It was that one of the movies that I really, and it's cheesy, so I don't blame anybody for not agreeing with me on it. But one of the movies I really enjoyed growing up, which was a war film, was Red Dawn. And I know exactly how cheesy it is, so you don't have to tell me that. But it was one of those films that, I'm surprised that it did as well as it did, but at the same time, I'm also surprised it didn't do better. If you understand what I'm saying. That goes right through that tree, doesn't it? Yep. Alright, get my stairs out. that went ding. That means I left my stairs out already. Or instead of putting them away, I scrapped them. Equally possible. And falls off the roof. And here we have electricity for the outhouse. Excellent. Now, store that. I don't see any stairs anywhere else, so apparently I scrapped them after I used them last time. Oh, it was a TV movie, Groucho? Okay. Yeah, Otto, being in that age group, you know, a young Patrick Swayze was supposedly one of the oldest characters in the film. So that should tell you about the time period. But yeah, I was a big fan of Red Dawn when it came out. All right, guys. It's only 2:30, but I'm starting to run a little bit dry on decorating ideas down here. And my lovely wife actually made my lunch about half an hour ago, and I've just been ignoring it. So I think this is going to be it for today. I'm going to spend the week doing as much talking as I can, because I did not realize just how rough talking for 2.5 hours is on the throat. And this has been rough. I appreciate everybody who's been here for the 2.5 hours that I've fallen off things and stumbled through the dark with. I think that we've built a fairly nice place for the settlers to live here. Oh. Help if I got out of workshop mode if I want to sit down. As I was saying, thank you all for coming in for the up to 2.5 hours that I've been presenting today. I'll really work at increasing my speaking skills over the week so I can last for 3 hours as I intended to. I hope you enjoyed my little excursion into building a fishing village, and I appreciate all the good advice I was given during the chat. Everybody have a great week. I expect I'll see most of you tomorrow on Sardeliak's stream. Take care of yourselves.